Hi, I'm Suzanne Johns, and I teach Science of Fix and Flip. Today we're going to walk a potential flip house. But what I want you to see and hear before we even walk into the house to really be able to go through the information is what happens prior to getting here. Before you waste your time, jump in the car, zip over to wherever it is, you need to make sure there's some things that are important to you on whether or not this is a potential flip to start with. Number one, I have to make sure it's a neighborhood that I really can see a potential after repair value that I want to have and make the kind of profit that I want to make. So that's number one. Number two, I'm going to check all of the comparables around this neighborhood to make sure that the price point that I want is going to be supported by sales we've had in the past. So that now that we have had a little bit of a hiccup in this market, everybody's been through or is going through it now, it goes up to 360 days. Used to be 180 days, but now it's 360 because of the fact that we've had so many non-starters and how many days things have been on the market. So that's important for you to consider, and that's what a lender will also look at if you are doing a hard money loan. The next thing that I'm going to look at is what is around this house. Yes, I may love this neighborhood, but if it backs up to a busy street, or it backs up to a church, backs up to 256 kV lines, which are electrical lines, any of those things are going to be a real detriment to be able to sell it. So you have to also consider that. I had one that was very quiet, but it was a railway. Backs up to a railway, I don't know. I don't think you want to wave at them as they go by. It's probably going to be a deterrent. So those are the things you need to do before you jump out of the house, get in the car, and race over and waste your time. The next thing you're going to consider always when you look at the house that you're going to flip is what's called a drive-up appeal. So people that come up, one of the very important things that they look at is whether or not it looks nice, whether or not you can make it look nice. It doesn't have to be beautiful. This one is very nice. If you take a look, they've done nice flowers over here. They've got some bushes that just need to be trimmed up. And the front door is in pretty good shape. And they have a beautiful tree over here to the right. So they've got some nice drive-up appeal. Let's go ahead and go inside. Okay, one of the things you're going to start is here at the front door. Here's your entry, and you're going to be able to have what is going to be the first thing that any guests come into and see in your home. I'm going to walk straight in, and I'm automatically coming into a family room. And this house was built in 1991. Now, the good news is it's a one-story. That's great. They're hard to find. But number two, when it was built in 91, it looked exactly like this, only newer. So they have done zero updating. So that means you have crown molding. That is what they used back in the 90s, where it's your triple step, or at least a double step. Everything they do have dual pane windows. It was required because that's code, but they're not very good. The seals are more than likely broken. I can see that through here. So I know I have a window replacement that's going to happen. These windows in particular, because they're so tall, they're very expensive. This one window is going to run me $1,200 minimum. One window, okay? When I redo this window, see these pane grids here? That's also old-fashioned. Everybody's looking for it to be open, so when you redo those windows, you might be able to, no, the seals are broken and they're gone. So you have to replace the entire window, including the casing. So when you redo that, you're going to order it without having those grids, or at least very minimal grids. Now, this place in particular has had one window that must have been broken. And when they replaced that window, they went to a clear window Really? And all the rest have grids, so nothing matches. And they used the same system. The casing is all the same. So all they did was replace the glass and nothing else. You have carpet in here. Nobody uses carpet in family rooms anymore. You're going to need to use some type of engineered wood at the minimum. The other thing that's very dated is going to be this fireplace. We don't use these fireplaces anymore. This has to be ripped out, whole thing, which isn't all that tough. Once you get rid of this carpeting, this stuff can come out without any problem. Put in a wood, any type of a wood mantle, and you can stain it, paint it, whatever you want, make it look much more modern. This, I guarantee you, mirror was from 1991. You're going to want to get rid of that. That's absolutely horrid. The other thing they had in 91 was called a butler's pantry. Here was your family, or your dining rooms, off the kitchen. And the butler pantry, I don't know if you remember this, back when we were all kids, that was where you had, supposed to have, all of your formal china and dinnerware and silverware that you would use to place when you had Thanksgiving dinner and Christmas dinner. It's pretty much the only time you'd use that stuff. This is, because it's single story, this is load bearing. I can tell, I can hear it myself right there. So this has to come out, but when I bring this out and blow this out, I'm going to need to put in new beams. Beams are going to run me around $2,000 a beam. Depends on how many I have to put in. If you're going to do a T, it's going to run you about $5,000. But you need to blow out this whole thing here. You don't need it. When you have listened to my other videos, I've talked about the two most important things that sell a house. Number one is kitchens. Number two is baths. That's it. Who buys the house? A woman, most definitely, is the lead decision maker in buying any kind of a house anywhere in the United States. So, where does she spend most of her time? Kitchen, baths. So these things, these are tiled countertops that have been grouted, and then the grout has been sealed very badly. And so it's all peeling off, and it looks awful. All of these are original cabinets. They are not soft close. If you want to save you money, because they still are wood, you can remove all these cabinet doors, and just do new cabinet doors, put in soft close, change your moldings, and update it, and it'll cost you about half of what I was doing if I were to replace all the cabinets. But here's the other thing you're going to have to do. Because this house was built in 91, the appliances are from 1991. You can take a look at them. I guarantee you that most of you, if you're that age, had one of these in your kitchen. This has to be replaced. Microwave has to be replaced. So does the oven, and that's a single oven. So I need to blow out this up here, either get rid of it completely and put in a vent, and put my microwave above my cooktop, and then I can put in a double oven over here without any problem. Or I can do this, cut out and put an extremely nice cafe slide-in, which has double oven and gas. I'm not sure if this neighborhood takes gas. That's one of the things I would want to check on. And then I could still do double ovens over there, and I could still do a microwave above with a vent hood, with a really nice modern vent hood that you would want to put in. These lights all have to be replaced, including all of these cans. You see the difference in the colors? You got kind of yellowy, and you got some over here that are LEDs, and you've got a god-awful chandelier in them. Oh my God, I've never even seen one that bad. But anyway, that has to be replaced. This island, you're never going to want to have this up here anymore. Nobody uses this bar. They're going to have a solid surface area so that you can serve for parties and having people over for football or whatever it is you want to watch on TV, because this is where everybody's going to congregate for the most part. What I don't see is a big pantry. Let's check over here. I do have something behind this wall here. Okay, so I have a decent sized pantry over here, so that's not bad. This one over here is just a mop closet, so that one's worthless. But washer dryer's in here. Once again, I have to do something with the cabinets. I definitely have to replace this. The sink has to be changed out. All of the knobs have to go. You can get knobs on Amazon. I bought them for my entire house, and they're really nice looking brushed bronze, dark bronze, oil rubbed is what they call them. And I think the whole thing cost me $48. So it's a non-starter for you to replace all of the handles. If you take a look at the floor, I can't even begin to tell you what's wrong with this floor besides everything. Everything needs to be the same floor. Whatever you did in that family room needs to follow through, so it looks nice and you have a continuation, and it will make every room look larger than if you have it cut up. Okay, so that's where you need to start. Kitchens, and then we'll go take a look at baths. We have now walked into the master bedroom and bath. If you take a look, they did replace the fan. It doesn't match anything else in the house. So whatever you do, you're going to need everything to have some symmetry. It all needs to look kind of the same. So, or at least the finishes. You can make some changes, but don't have super contemporary with the 1990s, this is late 90s, to the old 90s. Oh my gosh, that's awful. Take a look at the crown molding. We're talking about 1, 2, 3. That's called a 4-step crown. So that's made with MDF board, which is paintable. And it comes from every Home Depot, but you're going to find it most at the lumber yards. And they buy it and they can nail it up with nail guns. So it goes up pretty quickly, but you're going to always have joints that are able to be identified. That way you know that it's going to be MDF board. MDF is not a continuous board. All of this stuff needs to be replaced. Oh my goodness, the bathroom is certainly a wonderful place. I cannot find anything that I would pick as bright in this bathroom. This needs to go. No one uses these anymore. You have a really nice vanity, and this is considered what they call a high boy. The high boy is for the man because they're usually taller. Obviously, if your buyer is not taller, high boy's not going to be for him, but normally the men are taller, and so that's when they have a high boy. But all of these, the bowls have to go, all the cabinets have to be redone. They don't soft close. The countertops need to be, at the very minimum, granite, but I would go with quartz personally because it just has a nice finer look to it. All of your cans are old. I guarantee you they're going to shine yellow. This is probably a $69 fan from Home Depot. Lovely. I have a nice big closet, and I've got a cedar closet. So it's got some nice features. It all has to be repainted. You can keep the carpet in the master closet, but preferably I wouldn't. I would just go ahead. If you're doing engineered wood, you can put it in that closet too, and it still look really nice. But if I'm going to get rid of this, then I'm going to move my shower like here. I've got my toilet over there, so there's plenty of room. Yeah, it's huge. So that would really be a nice big shower, and people love that. That way you can put in multiple jets, you can put in a sauna feature, and if you want a tub, if you bring it straight over and you kind of make an L shape, then you put a tub on the corner, leave the glass open, you don't have a door, glass open, you put all of your fixtures on the end so they don't splash out, and now I've got a tub inside my wet area. Really, really modern. That's what you see in a lot of builders' homes, and that looks beautiful. Let's take a look at the guest bedrooms. Those are exciting. Really, truly. If you're going to paint, please stay away from doing multiple colors, and pick colors. If you're going to paint, pick something that's at least in fashion that everybody likes. I'm not sure if this is a gray or a green gray or a blue gray. I can't really tell. More of a green blue gray. And the fan, like I told you, don't go super modern and then middle of the road and then piece of crap. Why did you do that? Nothing matches, and those lights are definitely from 1991. They have to be replaced. Here we are into the Texas style bath. I absolutely hate these things. You've got one here. You've got a 3x3 shower, which is worthless because you can't hardly turn around in it. You can get wet and barely turn. And then you've got another sink and faucet over here. And okay, where's and your toilets between, and there's no tub in here, which normally there is. So if I'm going to do anything, and this is servicing as a guest bath, okay, that makes no sense. This is your guest bath for your family room, okay? Well, now I have to walk through. If somebody's taking a shower, nobody can get to the toilet. So it doesn't make any sense. Sorry, hit the wrong light. I'm going to have to there's a software that I use to redesign. Got to get on and redesign, because what I do is I get on graph paper first. I come in here and I do the what are my feet, how many wide, how many deep, or that is wide, how many long, where I have plumbing, where I can consolidate, and where I can put things and change it completely. That has got to get bigger. That is a real down for a market. So come back this way. Here's another one of the guest bedrooms. Okay, we talked about this picking paint. Isn't this lovely? What is that? I'm sure it was fashionable for someone, but it's not for anybody else. And again, we have a different kind of fan. Nothing matches. And then the worst part, they obviously used to have a fireplace that fed through to the family room. So this used to be a second living or an office. And they put some kind of tile in front of it and just painted it. If you're going to do something like this, you need to rip it all out. You're going to have to put in new studs. You're going to have to sheetrock it, tape bed texture. Get rid of this completely. That's an obvious no. Everybody knows that's...
Yeah.
How do you decorate around that? And what in the world do you do with it? No, it's a no. All right. Okay, well, let's talk about prices. See, here's that fireplace that went through to that other room. Let's talk about pricing. Because I've done enough of these and priced enough, More than likely, I can tell you what it's going to take to completely renovate this house. Because this is massive, it's 3,000 square feet. I do know I can get a good price for this if it's renovated. So if that's the case, I know I'm going to spend somewhere around $150,000 on my renovation. Just because I know kitchens and baths at this price point are going to be pricier. My kitchen, because it's so large and I have to punch out a wall and get rid of the butler's pantry, that right there is going to run me around $30,000, $35,000. Easy. Maybe 40. Master bath, because I have to change so many different things and move some walls as well. And put in a different shower, probably a sauna. Put in a tub. I have to add another plumbing. I take it under the foundation because that's going to be, I've got to have a drain. Okay, so master bath, $20,000 minimum. Reconfiguring, so my engineering is just going to run me $750 to redo that if I do engineering. But I'm going to have to knock out walls, put in some more studs, and probably put in one beam if I take all of that out. So one beam is going to run me about $2,500, and then taking all of that stuff out, I'm still going to be running in the $20,000 range. All of my flooring, all of the windows alone are going to run you somewhere around $35,000, and that's if I get it cheap straight from the dealer in Fort Worth. I haven't looked at the roof, but all the roofs around here look like they're in decent shape, so I'm hoping they at least have done the roof. I haven't looked at the AC. I need to know about that. I don't know how old it is. If I have to replace AC, it's going to run you somewhere around $18,000 to $20,000. If I have to replace all of my fixtures, your fixtures are going to run you somewhere around $4,000 to $5,000. So all of this stuff starts adding up, and you have to have a tally of all of that. And I have a compilation sheet that I go through, and it's an Excel spreadsheet that I've already put together. It knows exactly what I want, where I want it, and it prices it for me and adds it up. And I can add it up per room, I can add it up per section, or I can add it up per item, like just flooring, just windows, just sinks and faucets, those kind of things. You need to consider all of that when you're doing your renovation. So maybe this will give you an idea of some of the things you need to consider when you get into flips. Flips are not the simplest game in town, but once you have your system down, it's very profitable. I'm Suzanne Johns. I teach fix and flip. Trust me, I've had all of those pitfalls, and I can give you the tips and tricks that it takes to not fall into that. Just take a look at my website, and you're welcome to either get into my coaching or you can also take my class.